Okay, what we're going to talk about right now is we're going to get ready to do the bedding of the barreled action and the stock together. What I'm going to show you here is that the aluminum block here makes this stock very stiff and very rigid and very durable. But still, we have a lot of excess room here in our recoil. Our recoil lug is going to drop right in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some bedding, and we're going to also bed about an inch of the front of the barreled and barreled action right around this area here. And that's to keep the barreled action up and keep it free floating. And I'm going to put the barreled action in the stock right now so you can see it does drop in, and it looks extremely well, but you can see how it actually moves back and forth. So with doing the bedding, it actually makes the stock and the action as one and keeps this from happening and helps you from recoil and it retaining zero and any kind of stress on your bolts and scope mounts and scope rings. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do this. After we do the marine bedding or the epoxy bedding, we're going to go ahead and set up again, and we're going to show you that it will not move and how snug it just drops right in. We already did the process of doing the epoxy bedding on the recoil lug and on the part of the barreled action. You can see it here whether it's a little bit of discolor. All this right here is the epoxy right here. You can also see that this area right here, this part right here, is a lot more narrow from here to here than when we showed you the first video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab the barreled action and we're going to drop it in so you can see how snug it goes in. It kind of goes really snug in there. Kind of need to move it around, and you can actually hear it where it just fell into place. Now I'm going to attempt to move it back and forth like I did on the other video, and it's not moving at all. It's very solid. Matter of fact, I'm moving the stock, and the barreled action is not moving. You can see all right here in this area where it goes right around the barreled action, and it just follows the contour of the barrel, the recoil lug, and a little bit of the action. So that's exactly what we want. We want it to be nice and snug, and where it doesn't move, and no recoil, and no sudden jerks and movement towards your bolts here on your scope mount and scope rings. Okay, we're jigged up here on the lathe. This is our bolt, and this is our original bolt knob that comes from factory. We're going to go ahead and center all this up and use our centering bit to drill our centering hole, and then we're going to put a live center on here. We're going to go ahead and machine this off and machine it down and thread it 5/8 24 for our custom tactical bolt knob that we're going to make after we do this part here. We already machined down the bolt handle and re-threaded it to 5/16 24. This is where the original bolt knob used to be. This is where our new custom bolt knob is going to bolt up to, right here in this area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this from the lathe, and we're going to get ready to machine the custom bolt knob. We're going to get ready to start doing the tactical bolt knob. We've got this solid piece of aluminum rod here. We're going to go ahead and surface it here, and then square off the OD and start doing our bolt knob. can see here that we already tapered our tactical bolt knob here. We drilled it on the mill and we tapered it here, and you can see where it's deeper there and a little bit more shallow here. What we're going to do now is turn it around and go ahead and knurl this part here and do a little bit of cosmetic look thing here. And we're going to knurl this part here and the back side there. Review our Remington 700 AAC-SD. This is a Remington 700 308 short action. It is a 20-inch barrel. We did a lot of work to this rifle. We can start off by, we made our own thread protector. We removed the factory thread protector and we did one with some knurls. We stepped down and recrowned our lands and protect this here. Another thing we decided to do, we decided to keep the EGW 20 MOA base. We did change the rings and scope. We added some arms, detachable, quick detach rings, and a millet 416 by 50 illuminated mil dot reticle. Some of the work that we did to this rifle was we lightened up the trigger. The factory trigger was very, very hard. We ended up lightening it up to about 2 pounds, 5 ounces, somewhere around there. Another thing we ended up doing was the marine bedding of the Recoil Lug to keep our recoil, our barrel action from recoiling back and loosening up our bolts and having a lot of stress in our scope. We did end up changing the stock to an HS Precision stock compared to the factory stock. We ended up Duracoating the stock on a tiger stripe. We used a sniper green and a flat OD green color on this stock here. Another thing we ended up doing was we ended up fluting our bolt. We ended up doing 4 flutes from a deep to a shallow flute. We used the ball mill flute here. Another thing we did was we did 3 different holes and we stepped them down and tapered them there. We did our own tactical bolt knob with 4 flutes as well and some knurls. A little bit of cosmetic work here at the end. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to the range. We're going to sight it in and we're going to go ahead and shoot some test groups to see how much of a difference all the work that we did to this rifle really did.